So despite what we had planned to do today, which was to go and work in our shop and keep getting that organized, we have different plans thanks to, well, nature. Matcha, Witko, Tasunka. So it decided to snow last night, and I think we got about 8 to 10 inches. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but thankfully it wasn't. All right, now that we got our boots on, we've got to go move some snow. So before we get going on snow removal, I want to go check on the chickens. The chicken coop that we built for them has plastic over it. Now it is a thick plastic, but it's still plastic nonetheless. And I just want to make sure that it looks good. Now we were up every 2 hours last night cleaning snow off of the roof here because I did not want to have any issues with collapses or anything like that. And it looks like it worked. Hi, girls. You guys made it through your first snowfall. Right on. That's awesome. Yeah, it looks like we got an egg, which is kind of neat. It's always nice getting an egg from the girls first thing in the morning. But they all made it. The coop made it. Can't ask for a better result than that. So, I am very happy. Now, that was just one snowfall of many that we're going to have this season. But we're going to take this as a win. And, you know, come the next snowfall, we'll probably be out here cleaning it off just like we did on this one. Just to make sure that our girls are safe and that they have a place that they can come out to, out of the coop, run around, stretch their legs. We're going to leave the girls alone and let's go move some snow. So we have several tools that we can use to move the snow. We have the tractor. We also have a handheld walk behind snowblower, and we have Dory with a snowplow. Given the type of snow that we have, it is very heavy and thick and wet, and the fact that the ground has not froze, I think we're going to go ahead and use Dory and the plow. I think that's going to give us the best chance of cleaning the snow up. If I leave the snow on the ground, the problem is that it's going to freeze and then we won't be able to plow it. They just don't have anything strong enough other than the tractor. But that would just be an enormous amount of time, and I don't think we need to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get the plow on Dory, and let's get to plowing. All right, so we've got the plow hooked up, so let's go do some plowing. The reality of living in Maine during winter is that it is wet, it is cold, and it is dirty. And that's just the unfortunate reality, you know. It looks really nice and pretty when the snow's on there, but you got to clean it. And when you start plowing it, especially like a snow like this, when it's heavy, it's wet, and the ground isn't frozen, you're going to rip it up a little bit. So So we've got the front, the driveway area, the carport. Still got to clean up a little bit around the carport. I have not gone out the gate yet. We're not going to be plowing the road, but we'll talk about that here shortly. So I've got to just clean up a little bit in here. We've got this pile of snow that's started here. We're going to move all of this snow with the tractor. I want to see how much of it's going to melt down over the next day or two. But it's already melted down quite a bit, which is why the ground is still, you know, getting tore up a little bit. But that's okay, because come springtime, we'll plant some grass and it'll all be good. You won't even know. So we've got the path down to the chicken coop. Now we're going to go work on the area down by the shop. And then all of the snow that's in this area, we're just going to push it down into the woods as best we can. Hey guys, what do you think of my new hat? Jen made this. She's trying some new things out. What do you think? I kind of dig it. All right, so we've got the front area here all plowed. This is kind of a turnabout here. Now, we're not going to plow the road. And the reason we're not plowing the road is because all I have to plow is a V-plow, and with the road not frozen and nothing packed, the V-plow, two things are going to happen. One, it's going to rip itself to pieces simply because of all the gravel and the rock and the wood on the plow itself. The second thing that could potentially happen is that because this snow is so heavy, that it's rather than the plow actually plowing the snow, that snow is going to pack up on the plow, and it's just going to be an enormous amount of wear and tear on my truck, on the plow. So yeah, we're not going to plow it. But what we are going to do is we're going to jump in the truck, which is right there, and we're going to drive up and down the road a little bit. We're going to move our tires over so we can try and pack all this snow down. Now, there are folks out there who will say, don't pack snow on these roads. And all I can say to you is, whatever floats your boat. The reason packing can be a bad thing is that in the springtime, when things start to melt, you do get a sheet of ice on here. We've had a sheet of ice every year, but to mitigate that, we put down sand. Or sand and ash. So it's not really a big deal for us, and we only have a couple of problem spots, usually on the hills that we have. So we're not too worried about it on our road. So we're gonna go drive and try to pack this down. And I get it; it's hard to tell, but yes, we've gone down the road now a couple of times. I got some nice, I guess, ruts in there. But moreover, we're trying to pack it down so that we can have a nice base that for the next snow that I can run my V-plow. We've got a little bit of cleanup work left to do, and then I'm thinking we might be done. So I know I can get the doors open, which is great, because tomorrow we're going to get out here. We're going to start moving some of these piles of snow. We're going to push them off into the bank or into the woods. Winter just started, and if I leave these banks here, they are going to freeze up. We don't want that to happen, because the Lord only knows how much snow we're going to get, and we need to make sure that we can free up enough space so that once we start, making our piles, that it's not overwhelming. So I'm exhausted right now, so we're going to go ahead and shut this up, call it a day, head inside, and we'll get back at this tomorrow. What an absolutely beautiful Sunday. We have partly cloudy skies, and it is as cold as it looks. But the day is beautiful, and as cold as it is the last day that we are going to try and move some snow. Specifically, I want to get rid of this snow pile here. There's a couple of other snow piles we want to get rid of. Now, it's going to be tough going, I think. To be frankly honest, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to move it. But we're going to go ahead and fire up the tractor. We're going to give it a shot. Good morning, Rex. Good morning, Abigail. Miss Hazel. How are you girls doing? You guys are all huddled up in here. It's cold. Yes, it is. We don't have any eggs right now. We did have one earlier this morning. Chickens are doing really well. You know, after that snowstorm, we were pretty worried about the plastic, but it held up pretty good. Can't really complain. More importantly, the girls still have a place without any snow, and it's still all thawed out. So they're enjoying it, I think. It is a blistery 21 degrees this morning. Even the birds are having to eat breakfast this morning. Brave the freezing cold. Last week, we had to replace the safety control module on the tractor because the glow plugs weren't turning on. So let's see if it's still working. And the glow plug is on. Let's see if the tractor will start. Here we go. All right, so we've gotten this area here all cleaned up, and we also took care of the little trail that goes down here into the woods where we do our burning. So now that we've got all this clean, the next step here is I want to clean in front of this gate. Then I'm going to clean up in here. I want to leave the snow banked up against the shop, but this area in here, we're going to get that all cleaned up too. Last winter, somebody asked a question. Why do we clean up our yard the way that we do? Why do we remove all the snow off of it? The answer to that is pretty simple. Number one, we work out here in the wintertime. We need to be able to get our equipment around. We need to be able to let the dogs out and have them not buried in snow. It makes getting around a lot simpler, a lot easier. We're not having to fight the deep snow. You know, another thing is that the Maine winters are very unpredictable. We don't know if we're going to get 5 feet of snow in the season or if we're going to get 20 feet of snow in the season. We just don't know. So we need to prepare for whatever winter is going to throw at us. One of those things is getting all this snow removed off of the yard so we can still work. See, the winters are about 6 months here. And during that time, I mean, if we just stop working and stop doing anything, well, that just wouldn't work for us. Hi! I would love some coffee. So Jen's out here with the dogs. She's over here messing with the chickens. Right now what we're going to do is this big pile of snow here, we want to get this out of here, and we want to open up the front gate to the garden as well. So we're going to get the tractor over here. We're going to start moving this snow, and we're going to be putting it over there. Is that okay with you, Ma?
Yes, because we're supposed to be getting more snow.
Yeah. And we need a place. Go ahead.
Later this week.
Yeah.
I think it's at 3 to 5 inches.
Yeah. So that goes back to why we do this.
Because it'll keep piling up and piling up. And the pile would be taller than me, like the first year we were here.
The first year, it was over her head. Right in front of the cabin. Oh my God, that was a terrible first year.
Yeah, if I had like jumped in, you would have never found me.
All we had was the small Craftsman snowblower.
That sucker worked.
I ran
overtime.
that snowblower all winter long.
Yep.
And you know, we haven't touched it in 2 years.
No.
No, 3 years, because even the second year we didn't use it much. I used it a little bit.
We had the ATV with the plow.
Yeah.
And then since we've gotten the tractor.
Yeah, and Dory. Yep.
So yeah, you definitely need utensils to get rid of snow.
Yeah, that's.
If you live in Maine.
Yeah, don't do what we did, and you know, not be prepared for that, because snow removal equipment is a must, especially if you're off grid, out in the woods. I guess you could be on grid in the woods, but either way, I think you get my point. I mean, if you're in the woods and you are dependent on yourself, don't skimp on snow removal.
Well, I mean,
stuff.
not only so you can get around and still work.
Yeah.
But then come springtime, when
During
the thaw goes on, this was a huge muddy mess the first year.
Yeah. Yeah, we can prevent the length of mud season by removing all the snow.
Yeah, because I mean, that stuff was like,
it
was over my ankles. It was probably
awful.
halfway up my calf in some areas.
Yeah. All right, well, with that said, I got to get back to work.
Get to work.
I will. All right, so we've got the snow over here by the garden's gate cleared out. We also pushed back some of the snow in this area here to give us some more room if need be. Now, if for some reason we get a huge amount of snow, we've got more than enough space to put it. And honestly, I mean, the reality is we can always do this again, pick up the snow, get it out into the woods. So for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier in this video, number one, because we do need to work this winter and we need to be able to get the vehicles moved around. And number two, come time for the spring thaw, the majority of the snow will be moved out into the woods already, so it can just melt and do its thing. And hopefully the idea is that the mud season here won't be as bad. So, all right, folks, well, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. This was the first major snowstorm of the season and the first major snow removal of the season. I suspect we're going to have a lot more as winter progresses, and we'll be ready for it. You know, everything that we have to move snow is working great, and we've kind of got a plan as far as how to move the snow around. So we're looking forward to winter. We love winter. There's a lot to do here in Maine during the winter time, and it is just part of life here. Well, again, thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. And if you liked it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you folks on the next video.